So I'm going to show you how to lay out the side of your Will's Island skiff using your drawing. So this is the drawing right here. And you need a piece of 1.5 millimeter stock. And it should be 6 inches by 18 inches. Okay, so for a quarter scale, actually an 8th scale model, this is 4 feet by, I think, 12 feet. Yeah, 4 feet by 12 feet. Okay, so first thing we have to do is if you look at the drawing, there are lines, vertical lines, and they're numbered. They begin at the end of the board is 0. That one's not numbered. That's just the starting point. And then they go 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 12. So we have to put those lines, those vertical lines, and they are perpendicular to a bottom line. We have to draw those. So we have to look at the drawing for any indication of how far apart they are. Okay, so the board on this drawing extends from here all the way to here. So it's good to, it might be a little confusing at first when you look at the drawing, because you've got the boat in there, you've got the board, and then you've got some dimension lines. So just so you know, the board goes from here to here. And in between, there's an indication of how big the space is. And it says uniformly it's 12. We can assume that's 12 inches. So every 12 inches, we want to put a vertical line. Okay, so a couple of things. First, I'm going to take a square and just check that this end is square. If your end is not square, you're going to need to draw a square line as close to it as you can. So I'm on this. This looks pretty square. So this is going to be my 0 line right here. So I just need to mark right across every inch. Now, this is an 8th scale model, so that means that an 1/8 of an inch is equal to an inch in the real world. An 1/8 of an inch in model world is equal to an inch in the real world. So that also corresponds to an inch and a half in the real world becomes 1 foot, right? And here's how you can kind of get your mind around this. This ruler has some 8ths, and we can count how, so each of these is an inch, and you can count to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. An inch and a half is the same as 1 foot. So we need to mark from this end all the way down to this end at inch and a half intervals that measurement. So you can just take any ruler and just plop it on there nice and vertical, nice and flush to the bottom edge, and mark every inch and a half. Right? So I like to put an arrow pointing at exactly where the inch and a half is, because when you put a straight line, it's hard to tell which part of the line is aligned on your inch and a half. And remember, do every inch and a half all the way. Don't, do an inch and a half. I've seen some people start off at an inch and a half and then somewhere get back to inches, but we're doing every inch and a half. So that's one way to do this. Another way to do this is if you have a scale ruler, you could look at the 1.5 inch scale. So that's this one. It says 1.5 inches, and it shows 1 foot divided into 1.5 inches is equal to 1 foot, and this is 1 foot divided into individual inches, and they're each an 1/8. So you could put this right, that 0 right there on one of your marks, and just continue to mark every foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and get down here, 6. Okay, so now I should have 12 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Now they need to be vertical. So you could use a square, right? So you could take this square, just when you're drawing with a square, you have to make sure that one edge of the square is truly up against the bottom of your board, right? So I have this board on top of a little piece of masonite. If I have the board on here, but I'm stopping at the masonite, as you can see, there's a real difference here. My line is not going to be square. So you need some sort of a square. This kind of a ruler isn't going to give you a square line. Sometimes it would be this way, sometimes it would be this way, right? If you only have a ruler, you need to make 2 marks, right? So you need to do, 1.5 and 3 in 2 different places, then connect them. Okay? So if you don't have a square like this, you may have a drawing square. So a square that looks like this. This would also work for drawing your lines. You just have to make sure that you're flush against the edge here or here, so that you are actually getting a square line. Okay, so I'm going to use this. This is the one I have, and I'm going to draw a nice square line all the way down. And right, I'd like them to be as accurate as I can get them at this stage. We're talking about very little measurements because we're using 8th scale. So if you're off by, a 16th of an inch, you're off by half an inch. So this one's a tiny bit off. So I'm going to correct that. Okay, and a slightly thicker line there. And you're just going to keep doing this all the way down.